When I was in Beijing many years ago, when I was in Singapore, not so long ago, I always feel I'm being watched. But I thought I was being watched more closely in Singapore than in Beijing. On China, of course, our government, under Mr. Zhou and under Mr. Zhang, has been trying to second-guess Beijing. So it may sometimes, actually, Beijing leaders might not even be thinking about something. But then the Hong Kong government decided to ask them. Now once you ask Communist Party candidate, what do you expect the guy to do? See, once you say that, do I do this? Or do I not do it? He will immediately think, now what if I give you the wrong advice and you do something which then later on displeases my boss? And my boss will say, why did you advise him to do this? So, to save my own skin, I would advise you always to go to the left. So the Chinese have an expression, whenever in doubt, turn left. Okay? Because if you turn left, yeah, it is perhaps not what they have in mind, but they won't complain. You keep your job. But if you advise them and they turn right, which is not strong enough, it may enable the Chinese leaders to think, because of that, they will be losing a little control over Hong Kong. Then you may lose your job. And that is the trouble. The local government has been asking the Beijing representative in Hong Kong, which is at Western, as you know, and the saying now in Hong Kong is important policy decisions are made at Western, only implemented in Central. So there's a lot of second guess work going on, which is bad. You are right, sometimes it may not be that bad. If they wouldn't ask questions, if they would only do it, chances are that Beijing won't even interfere. But if you ask them, you're inviting them to interfere. I remember soon after the announcement of the Sino-British Joint Declaration, there was an occasion in Hong Kong where the taxi drivers took to the streets. They were very unhappy with certain legislation proposed by the British government in Hong Kong. And the trade unionists actually marched to the Kowloon office of the New China News Agency. And the person in charge there received them, talked to them. You know what he said to them? He said, this is entirely a matter for the British administration in Hong Kong. You talk to them, I'm sure they will give you a good hearing. I was so happy on that occasion. Hong Kong people ruling Hong Kong with a high degree of autonomy. You ask me to interfere? Sorry, I won't. Go and talk to them. And I remember in the early days too, some American lawyers were pushing for the right of audience in Hong Kong. And the Law Society was dead against it. And they came to me and they said, should we not go to Beijing? That was under British rule. I said, no way. No way. Because you'll be then inviting intervention to Beijing. It may, in fact, if Beijing intervenes, maybe you get what you wanted. But then, it's really Pyrrhic victory for you, isn't it? For the rest of Hong Kong. So I strongly advise against it, and they didn't do it. But that is a tendency. Because they're so effective. You talk to somebody in Beijing, they say, yeah, and that's done. Beautiful. But we mustn't allow that to happen. We mustn't encourage that to happen. We mustn't allow that to happen. Because that would be the end of one country, two systems.